Okay. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. December 31st. This is the last little bit of 2025, and then we're done with her. Good morning, A girl. Happy New Year's Eve to you. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Anyone have any plans for tonight, or are you going to do like me and probably be asleep by 9:30? it's it's supposed to be raining and so obviously cloudy. So I don't know if that's gonna. I would imagine that's gonna destroy the fireworks. I've never actually seen fireworks in the rain. I don't think. Because what I was planning on doing was just waking up and going to if I was asleep, obviously, and I can go situate where I can see the fireworks from all over the valley, from Summerlin to Henderson to all over Vegas proper, Paradise or Enterprise, all that. Um, and um, there's a couple places, but where I could film it and still be in my car, nice and warm, heated seats. You know what I'm saying? We're all good. So I was thinking I would do that, but if it's raining, I don't know. Do fireworks work at all, or do they go above the clouds and blow up and you can't even see them? Or has anyone ever seen fireworks in the rain? I don't know. Um, Hi, baby. I love Cheryl. Um, Getting close. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Um, what is that? Secular, sequoialart and tutoring. I don't even. I need tutoring to be able to say that name. Hello, Vanessa. Happy New Year. Um, yeah. So I was planning on doing that, and then I was going to be I wanted to go to the sign at least for the 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock here would be midnight. East Coast. But if it's raining, there's just no point. There's not going to be anyone there, and it's going to be incredibly cold. It's going to be like 40 degrees while it's raining. That ain't good. So I need to be warm, cozy. I don't have time for that. um, oh, Sequoia. Okay. So, oh, Sequoia art and tutoring. I'm sorry. Like I said, I needed your help. I'm glad you're here. Uh, I can't read. Oh, it's Kanani. Okay, cool. I mean, I can't for 100% say it's Kanani until, you know, I see Kanani's name legitimize that one. But I choose to believe you. Uh, Vanessa, thank you. Yeah, this I like this one. Uh, it's got the Pretty slick. Um, Rennie, good morning. All right. Hey, Aaron's in the house. Good to see you. Happy New Year, Aaron. We should smoke a cigar for New Year's. And we should smoke one for no reason next week. Hey, Aaron in the house. James Steele, how dare you be late? Just because I was late. Um, I'm gonna steal that sweatshirt. It's a zip. Yeah. Um. so, um, I really, really want to take like the next 10,000 hours to hammer home a bunch of points where everyone can just fire them off whenever they need to. Okay, because it's really going to help you dismantle Scientology verbally, okay, when you're communicating with people. Um, One of my favorite shows Aaron did in the last year, and it was I wished it would have gone for 4 hours, but it was, you know how it is, your favorite ones go like that. It was like 26 minutes or something, because there wasn't much to do. He was discussing all the TikToks, the Scientology TikToks, that just came out. And it's just incredible to me, like, what religion has to lie, to absolutely lie, to even get you interested enough to come in the door and listen to the rest of the nonsense. And, part of me actually feels so good when I see those TikToks because they're so awful. They should have done this stuff, 15 years ago. And to come into 2000, like I said, Scientology's screwed, because what they needed to do was take like those Minnesota boys, right? Take the best looking people they got and let them, don't just have one person, but have like 5 or 6 good looking people, all 24 years old, redo all the lectures, okay? Redo and take all the 1912 references out and 1841 blacksmith references and bullshit and bring it up to today, right? There was so much they needed to do, but what makes a cult powerful also makes it hard to keep it going, you see? So it's sort of a give, and I understand 99% of cults don't last that long. They don't become multi-billion-dollar outfits and survive for 70 years. You got to give, like I say, how many other super 100% total scams are there that survive that long that are religions? Now, I know you guys could say anything and I wouldn't know because I don't know anything about any other religions. But I'm saying, whether you believe in, Christianity or whatever the case, whatever the religion, right? Whether you believe in it or not, they'll tell you what they believe. And then it's up to you to either be cool with it or not. Okay? Maybe not everything, right? But I mean, they'll tell you, yeah, we believe in Jesus and da 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 da, right? And it's not going to take an hour for him to say it. It's going to take one sentence. And then he'll give you a free Bible. I mean, okay? Scientology, the TikTok that says it's an applied religious philosophy. I need you guys to participate for this to work for me and for anyone who sees it on replay. So don't be lazy, okay? So when you see like the TikTok and it says it's an applied religious philosophy, put a 1 in the chat if that means nothing to you, okay? And put a 2 in the chat if that means something. Or just write, means something, means nothing. That's fine, either way, okay? Because if I didn't already know, that would tell me nothing. I would have no idea what the hell that means. An applied religious philosophy. Nah. Is that like the Ten Commandments or something? Well, sort of. Like that's the kind of crap I used to hear. It's a series of steps that when followed, will create a better situation for your life. Well, what the hell are the steps? What are you talking about? What do I got to do? Do I got to climb to Everest, or can I just? Is this like a trip to Barnes and Nobles? I'm trying to decide if I want to continue in your thing here. What do I have to do, right? Um, so it's like, uh, yeah, hey girl, go up to see people unite. You missed something there. Or I gotta go get it. Okay, I'll do it. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me get this. Where is it? Um, hey girl, scroll up and yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can't have that stuff. Okay, so um, Vanessa, applied religious philosophy sounds like my childhood. I heard that a lot. Yeah, right? You know, now granted, I'm not the smartest person on the planet, but like I said, I would immediately say, doesn't that describe every religion ever, basically? Well, not really, because we apply what we know where you just believe. What? If I believe X, Y, Z, I'm going to operate that way. So it's applied. Okay. Now, another question I have for you, because they keep doing this on the TikToks, and I'm like, who knows what that means? I would have no idea what the hell that means. They go, we have all these courses you can take, and 50% of it's practical, 50% is theory, or there's a bunch of practicals. What does that mean? A practical? There's a bunch of practicals? That practically makes no sense to me. Are you guys so smart that you know what that means? Because I would have no clue. And theory, that makes no sense. If it's a religion, um, I've heard all kinds of things like there's more reasons to believe than not to, and there's more proof there is than there isn't. And I've heard every kind of argument, okay? But my point is, um, in my mind, it's impossible to have any kind of religion without asking me to just believe in some stuff, which is okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But Scientology makes you believe there's nothing to believe in. Because if it isn't true for you, it ain't true. Okay? You're only going to believe in it because it worked. Okay? We're going to say, do these steps, and this is going to occur. And that's not something we need you to believe in. It's something we need you to do. Okay? And for these things to work, we also need you to be this way and this way and this way in your life. Okay? But then, like I say, it's pretty simple when you get those wins when you first come in and start something, because you've stopped doing a lot of bad things. You've started really caring about yourself, maybe for the first time. Okay. So for that first 6 months, I mean, you're really on fire. Okay. I've seen people, you're just like this when you start. I'm sure it's like that with any cult. That's why cults work. Okay. And I'm sure it's the same if I went down to I saw a billboard, well, not a billboard, but on the side of the road, one of those signs out here in Vegas. Um, and it said like super welcoming church, like come on in, and get a hug basically. I was like, it was a cool It was the exact opposite of Scientology. But my point is, I could go over there and they would just be nice to me and love bomb me right off the bat. Okay? So you're going to feel good if you were feeling crappy and alone, right? So I understand the power of all that, totally. And it makes you forget a lot of other stuff that you hear. But my point is, Scientology, for those of you who don't know, okay, you are God in Scientology. That's what you find out at the end of all this, right? We're all God. So, you know, how that can be a religion where I never tell you, only 1% of your followers are going to find out these things. I say once you find out that shit, okay, I guess you could call that a religion. But if you don't even let me know that, and there are no gods of any type, there's nothing, nobody, anything that you pray to, or that you even postulate, please, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever, deity, ultra powerful, somebody, can you hook me up? There's none of that. And once you're, when you're at the beginning levels, everyone's going to be nice. No one's going to be snarky. No one's going to be crappy. Okay. But when you make your way over to Asho, that's when you're going to hear all the put downs and the cut downs. No one has, or at least in my day, no one had any issue. It was disgusting, like the way they would talk about every other religion. So, and what an idiot, like only an idiot would just sit there and believe in, like, that was what the people I knew that really close to me in Scientology. This was like the agreed upon type of viewpoint, okay, that if you were, out of food and out of clean water and the army's coming in to blow you up and all that, and you're in some Ecuador or whatever, and you're just like, please help. Like, what an idiot. You need to be getting up and you need to get some gunpowder and you need to get some food and you need to boil some water. It's always like, it's impossible to be a victim in Scientology, right? Unless something bad happens to you. And then you go to ethics. So, in Scientology, if you got sick or you got hit by a bus or whatever, a piano hits you, you're gonna go to ethics. They're gonna find out what's going on. Why are you pulling in this kind of shit? What did you do? And so they'll never ever take that angle. Like nothing was ever predestined. Basically, like you pulled it in because of what you just did or what, So I don't understand where it meets the requirement of being a religion, because they flat out lie on the TikTok and say we believe in God. We just don't tell you which one. Which doesn't make any sense to me either. Even that sentence doesn't make any sense. Because if you actually believed in a God, I don't think you could believe in multiple gods. I mean, I guess you could, but it just seems really sort of to defeat the purpose. Isn't it to get behind something and go? I mean, so, yeah. It doesn't, I don't see how it meets any parameter of a religion, okay? Because otherwise, how come going to school to become an architect isn't a religion? Okay? All I have to do to make it a religion is to talk to you as you and not your meat body, and I qualify as a religion even though I'm just teaching you how to become an architect? Because that's what Scientology says. It's the religious philosophy is that they're dealing with the soul. They call you a thetan, right? So a thetan in Scientology is you. So who operates the body? You do. Well, who's you? Is it the body? No, it's you, the thetan. That's what they're hanging their hat on. That little tiny fact. is how they can say it's a religion. That's ridiculous. Okay? So I'm going to teach you how to play the saxophone, but I'm going to talk to you personally, not your meat body. What are you talking about? I'm addressing you because I want you to control your meat body in such a way, that you just sound like the 1980s all over again. I want people to think of, Miami Vice when they hear you. You know, now it's a religion? By saying you're addressing me and not my meat body, we're a religion. You never tell me there is a deity of any type. You do let me know that anyone who believes in Jesus or anything, any other religion, is an idiot. You make sure I know that. They have no confront. They're just part of this cycle, churn and burn, wasting their time. They're just on a control mechanism forever, But for somehow, Scientology it can say they're a religion. We address the spirit. How? How do you address the spirit? How? You're talking to me. What are you talking about? In other words, I can just say I'm talking to your spirit right now. Now this is a religion right now. You see them? It's ridiculous. So, and to have to come out and actually lie, because they try to avoid that as much as possible. They really do. But to come out and say we believe in God, it's just as ridiculous as Tommy, saying there's no disconnection, and every single person on the planet knew that was a lie. But again, one of the problems in a cult is you never get to put any of these points we're talking about here on Front Street. You're never able to do that. Okay? Like, I would love nothing more than for us to somehow be able to figure out a way to make it crystal clear, okay, to everybody in the entertainment industry. If you work with a Scientologist, and you are gay, that person has no choice but to believe, okay, that you cannot be trusted, you are a deviant, you cannot be fixed, you cannot be helped, you should be institutionalized post haste. That's what you believe. There is nothing else. There's not except or with the exception, no, that is absolutely 100% done deal. Okay. It's incredible that we can't get that out in front, Tom Cruise literally believes when he's shaking your hand, when he's shaking John Travolta's hand, which I bet never happens, but when he did, that Travolta has a knife in his other hand behind his back. That's legitimately what Tom Cruise believes. Okay? And it was really weird too because as a kid, I grew up in the Castro in San Francisco, right, and in Las Vegas and Hollywood and West Hollywood. So obviously, where Celebrity Center was on La Brea. I mean, there's enormous gay population, right? And I would always be like, nobody knows. This place absolutely despises gay people. It's crazy. Like, it's not like a little uncomfortable. It's despise. You cannot hire them. You cannot work with them. You are literally PTS to them. Okay? There is no other. A gay person is 100% in the most dangerous level on the tone scale there is. Okay? There's no exception. Don't you think if that got out the way that they really believe, okay, you are a deviant, um, uh, you cannot be helped and you cannot be trusted. There's no exception. I'm shocked that they're able to even work. You know, Celebrity Center even works at all. Like, make them reconcile that, because LRH does not say they can be helped. Okay, he certainly isn't interested in it. Even if there was a way, he don't care. You know. I think that would be very impactful. But how the hell is Scientology a religion? Can you guys think of any? Is there any other religion where there is no God? I'm just asking. And if you don't know, cool. But if you do know, can you please write it in the chat? You know, where there's not some kind of centralized deity, someone that's like the go-to, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if all hell breaks loose, the plane is going down, you're like, come on, Allah, help me out, right? Or whoever, I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to any other religion. But I always thought that was sort of the point of it, and it's weird. Like Scientology does this thing where you're putting all this effort and energy into finding out what the deal is. Everyone else tells you right now what the deal is. Okay, give yourself to Christ and He'll look after you, and then we'll figure the rest out as we go. Oh, okay. Does it cost anything? Nope. Do I have to do anything else? Nope. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad pitch. It's really not a bad pitch. Like Scientology is come to the 3.5 hour timeshare seminar where at the very end we'll let you know what's in store for you. You're like, what? But yeah, if you can get away, if you can become if you're a religion, because I'm addressing the soul, okay, you're going to be much, much better. You're going to be healthier and happier if you play the tuba. Okay, so because it's going to speak to your soul, you're going to feel the vibration. It's a very spiritual thing. Now my tuba classes are a religion. I mean, you're doing countless hundreds and hundreds of hours of training regimens that have nothing to do with religious anything. Okay? You're doing hundreds of clay demos that have nothing to do with religious anything. Study tech. The hell does that have to do with religion? And another thing is, it makes sense that there's no God, because why wouldn't a God just be like, dude, I want you to know this shit, right? Because that's the flow I get from the Bible, right? Isn't that like, here, check it out, this is to help you, not hide it, right? So If you don't do what we say you should do, you're not gonna get well. But what are you guys even about? Well, we don't tell you that. What the fuck? Oh, you're going to be personally, we're going to address your soul. Okay. You're going to be in control of everything. You're going to recover all the powers you already have but don't know how to use, or how to bring up. I mean, how hokey is that? I don't think people fall for that shit anymore. Not like they used to. The 50s is a different thing. And I also think the book Dianetics buries them. I really do. Even the way LRH writes, I think buries them. I don't think they can continue. I think they are finished in America. They're going to have to just stop for 30, 40 years and then bring it out again. That's the only way it's going to work at all. The only chance they have. PR is so bad. They have no one they can show you. Their pitch is shit. The way the books are written, like Science and Survival and Dianetics, if you read those two books and don't realize that LRH is an absolute idiot, I, I don't think there's another author that will tell you more lies in a single book than L. Ron Hubbard, because he lies about stuff he doesn't even need to touch on, right? He's such an egomaniac that he's going to, if he has time, he's going to write up not one, but 2 volumes on how to tie your shoes. Okay. Uh, so, but there's never anything religious. It's like if I just ran a do it yourself course that went forever, and then I said, but I'm addressing your soul. Don't you feel better when now it's a religion? That is some bullshit. And if you do believe everyone is God, like we're all God, why not just say that? Because I know there's another religion that believes that. Can't remember the name of it, but where they believe we're all one person, like the whole universe is like the redwood trees or something. I mean, I know I'm not saying it right, but you know what I mean. So like we're all one or whatever. And I'm not even, I don't believe me, I'm not even commenting on any of it. There's nothing anyone can say about another religion that I'll make fun of because I came from the dumbest thing that's ever been. Okay. I can see your stupidity and raise you. And don't make me go all in because you'll bail. I got more stupid than you got time. Okay. So I'll never say anything about another religion bad. And it just doesn't make sense to me to be that way. But yeah, there is nothing religious about Scientology. Nothing. They aren't addressing the soul when you're in ethics. Okay. None of that high control is addressing the soul. All right. That's ridiculous. So, I just feel like there's certain things in Scientology that if we could really somehow just promote, remember I keep telling you guys, to me the most intense thing, there are the 2 most intense things that I would love to pound everywhere, Skywrite and you name it, would be Tom Cruise and COB have been stalled for 20 years. Tom Cruise and COB can't make it up the bridge. There is only one reason for that. Misunderstood words. That's an ethics matter. So David Miscavige and Tom Cruise report to the MAA. You're going to get some black clothes, okay? You're not going to say another word, and you're going to always be running. I was talking with Cheryl about this last night, and anyone's opinion can be right. We just have our opinions, right? But we were discussing it, and like I can't see This is exactly what I think happened. Okay. I think Tom Cruise was starting OT7, and after 2 days of running that shit, I think he called COB, David Miscavige, and he said, dude, don't bullshit me, man. Does this work? Does this work? Okay? Because don't make me do 3 years of this bullshit if this is bullshit. I swear to you, I'll put you on a spit. All 5'1" of you. And then Miscavige was like, okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. Why do you think everyone keeps dying of cancer when they're OT8? It doesn't do shit. And he's like, okay, thanks. Boom, right? Tom Cruise ain't leaving because he loves culty. He's had 40 years of being a deity, okay? He doesn't just have, it's not like, this is 50 steps above Barbara Streisand, like, and J-Lo and these people who don't let you look them in the eyes and all this nonsense. He has people believing, literally, that his farts smell like tres leches, okay? And that he is a wonderful human being, and he has it all. He knows it all. He's amazing. And even if he's cursing you out, it's because you deserve to be cursed out, okay? And what an honor to be cursed out by Tom Cruise, And he's been treated this way. And this is, don't ever forget, this is the kind of treatment you cannot get, okay, unless you're in a cult. It makes that 5-star treatment look like garbage. Okay. And I'm sure it's nice knowing you're connected to something that has that kind of money, to help you out. And, he's got a good thing going. I know the Tom Cruise and the COB that I know in my head, there's nothing that could have kept them from getting through OT8. They would not have done anything until they got through with that. Okay. I know every Friday, Tom Cruise hosts COB wherever he is. He hasn't flown in. And COB gets up on his lap, and Tom Cruise just lightly caresses his forehead while they watch reruns of Three's Company until AA Run comes on. Then they watch that. But my point is, there's no way they wouldn't have finished OT8 if you literally became a master of matter, energy, space, and time. There's nothing you could have done to keep them from finishing OT8. Nothing. Nothing. Because that would be worth 100 times more than every last dollar on earth, and you name it, right? There's nothing that could compare to that. They stalled out because they know it's bullshit, okay? Just like Travolta. I know Travolta, they don't let him do it because of his leanings. That said, I don't think Travolta cares. He knows his wife was OT8 and died of cancer, okay? He knows that they literally believe his son Jet pulled that in and is a degenerate, a degraded being. That's what they believe John Travolta's son Jet was. Okay, and Travolta's still happy to be a Scientologist? Come on, man. Come on. If we could somehow make sure people knew that's how they feel about those who who have special needs. Okay, they have disdain. It's either disdain or just no acknowledgement. It's just who gives a shit. Moving on. And we're walking. That's their response at best to someone with special needs of any sort. Okay? If people knew that, if people knew that Scientology believed sympathy and empathy are irrational behaviors, okay? If people knew that are in Scientology that the ideal orgs are empty. These are all the things I think about all the time because they're absolutely destructive. Like, Nothing could hurt Scientology more than people knowing these things. Nothing. Nothing. I believe that there's plenty of lawsuits down the road that might crush Scientology. Okay. But the thing is, justice normally doesn't have anything to do with the legal system. You know, a pharmaceutical company can kill 250,000 people. Not one person goes to jail for a day. They just write a check for $20 billion and move on. And it's the price of doing business, No big deal. You made 120 billion, it cost 20, moving on. And in Scientology, if you're able to get somewhere, they're going to pay you off. Okay? And now those are the I mean, that's the stuff those are the heaviest, most meaningful cases that stuff's going to occur. Okay? So, not there's cases going on right now that have absolutely no meaning whatsoever. Like the cuck in the truck, is involved in. The most meaningless case of all times. It means nothing to anybody. Total waste of time. Bullshit. Meaningless. So, I don't think justice is coming through the courts. I think payola comes through the courts. That's just me. Okay. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's just me. And because I just don't ever see any justice come. It's just pay, but, yeah, so Scientology is not a religion at all, any way, shape, or form. All the things I discussed today, those are the topics that, and I really think, and I can't wait to do this at Flag, but I'm going to hold signs that say, COB and Cruz have been stalled on the bridge for 20 years. COB and Cruz can't make it up the bridge. Remember Tom Cruise? Are you ready to clean this place up? You're going to remember, what did you do? And all that shit. I know what you did. You stalled out after that stupid speech and you received that big extra large pizza fucking tin. You stalled out. You go, well, I got to do what? I got to create body things, locate them, and then convince them to leave? Dude. And that's what, like I said, that's how the hell... To me, the dumbest move that COB ever made was not giving himself an OT8 cert instantly. He's got those in the trunk of his car, man. But here we go. Truth revealed, bro. And I would make people think that I completed OT9. Uh-huh. Damn right. If I was COB, that's what I would have done. I would have said, I am the first completion. OT9 completion. Okay? I'm the first one to do the electric boogaloo, and, you guys will find out about it in time. Okay? Why not? You're lying about everything. You might as well keep going. You care if the senior CS knows you're lying? He knows you're a liar. Everyone knows you're a liar. Just write yourself up a fucking cert. He should have got one. Because think about it, the only person in all of Scientology that can't possibly get red tagged, can't have a single bad day, is Miscavige. Okay? He could smoke crack and do OT8. Who's going to tell him he can't? Okay? The ideal orgs are empty, and COB and Cruz are stalled on the bridge for 2 decades. What else do you need to know? It's not a religion. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that just bug the shit out of me, by the way. Let me see what you guys are talking about. COB, Janet from another planet says COB and Cruz are slipping on rungs. They're slipping on rings. um, Lisa Pete did the first electric boogaloo. uh, um, do. I guess you guys are talking about breaks. I don't know. Vanessa says, one of my eye-opening moments was the church she started going to chose our family to help that year for Christmas. Meanwhile, Scientology did nothing. Wow. Wow. Lisa says, in Scientology, the soul is your wallet. That's funny. um, A girl, I am confused on how Scientologists say you become a god, but no one got powers and no one called BS. But no one got powers. No one called BS. Well, I mean, you can't talk to any OTs, can't talk to other OTs about OT shit. So, um, yeah, we're all God, whatever. Like, again, if you don't tell me that up front, like, I don't even know how you can act like you're a religion. I don't even think that makes you one. But if you're not going to tell me till I get to the top of Everest, and you know only 1 out of 1,000 people going to get there, what the hell is that a religion? Any more than a do-it-yourself course where I'm addressing your soul, but but I'm actually addressing you. That's all Scientology is doing. They're telling me what to do, but they're telling this is what my soul needs to do. This, if I do such and such, this is what's going to happen to my soul. It's such a loaded. Ugh. Um, girl, I am still confused on what a touch assist is for. No, not for breaking a bone. Like Scientology, you go to the hospital. You know what I mean? If you fall off the back of the truck and smash your head, you go to the hospital. But like touch assists, it's so funny because again, I come from a family of a highly trained Scientology family. Right? There wasn't that many families like mine. Okay, where you have an OT7, an OT3, and a net auditor, and we're two of us are under 15 years old. 16 years old. Okay. But there were so many things unsaid. I told you guys a bunch of times, like my mom would get sick all the time. We knew that the law is she has to be out ethics and that's why she's getting sick. But we knew there was no chance of that. So we never wrote her up, yet we never talked about it. Okay? Ever. Just like I told you guys, my dad would slam his shin on the coffee table and be like, fuck, and then hobble away like you're supposed to. Right? He didn't do a touch assist. Not once. Ever. Okay? Oop. Oop. Where you keep touching where you hit on your shin to the coffee table and keep touching it. And you know, when I knew if a 13-year-old can figure this out, come on, how come it takes the exact same amount of time for the pain to go away after I hit my shit on the coffee table if I do the touch assist or don't? But if I'm doing the touch assist and then the 60 seconds goes by and the pain dissipates, right, like it does no matter what, it was Scientology that got rid of the pain. My mom had a lot of back problems, okay? And as a nurse, you know, she was on her feet 12 hours a day. Everyone in her family was able to administer a nerve assist anytime she wanted, okay? What did she do? She took Epsom salt baths, okay? And put hot water bags and fucking and all kinds of different shit to help her back. Okay, and laying down and this and that and the other. She never once requested a nerve assist. It doesn't do shit. I mean, it feels good. Like I said, I'm quite certain that what Tom Cruise does to COB's forehead, he probably calls it a nerve assist, right? So it's not that it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't do shit. Your back's still broken. Yeah, what a joke. Um, um, oh my God, Vanessa. It's definitely not a bad pitch. Okay, when my mom was sick with cancer, they deemed her an illegal PC and refused her any auditing. So she was like, fine, I'm going back to Catholicism. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Sick with cancer and illegal PC. And yeah, how much you want to bet they didn't treat Kelly Preston like that? How much you want to bet? Jesus. Hey, Jesper. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Force, how you doing? Um, oh my God, Sharona's cooking again. Ooh, black-eyed peas for tomorrow. And cocktail meatballs. Oh, come on. I need to, Cheryl, we need to move right between Rennie and Sharona and just carry butter with us. Oh my God. From Florence, Italy? Joel McCoy, Happy New Year, my friend. Yeah. Meat body. It really is a gross expression. Yep. That pulling in stuff would have sent me spiraling, Lisa said. You know what? I'm telling you, that's one of those things that always had me a little freaked out. Like one of the things was if I ever, even though, like if I ever came across it, you know, the OT3 materials, like, and I read them, I'm like, oh my God, I just got killed, you know, like that freaked me out. Because supposedly if you, for those who don't know, if you, LRH said if you saw the materials for the OT levels and you weren't prepared for it, um, you know, you would die of pneumonia. So that scared the shit out of me. But also, I couldn't figure out the math. Like I couldn't understand. Okay, like if you're born without an arm, fine. You know, you're missing your left arm. Scientology would say that's because you were killing people with your left arm last lifetime, and now you're making sure you can't hurt people with that. You know, like that. But then when you're walking down the street and the piano movers, you know, drop the piano out the window and it hits you, you're pulling that in for some out ethic shit you did You don't know whether it was this lifetime or last or whatever. Only you probably, only you know. Um, and that sort of freaked me out because I'm like, how are you ever safe if 5 minutes from now I could be paying for something I did 17 lifetimes ago? How do you, what the, that's not good. So yeah, that was a hard one for me to figure out. I mean, obviously I went with the idea that once you get rid of your case, right, once you've finished, your reactive mind is no longer there. Um, then you would stop pulling in stuff. I was that's what I was thinking, but I knew tons of people who were clear that were having, the pianos fall on them. So I never understood how that was supposed to work. Vanessa says, "What's funny, Eric? My mom and I were incredibly close. I was with her all the time since she ran out Scientology school, and my dad was always working. She always held her Catholic belief of God." Wow. Hmm. Oh, thank you for making the scrolls, Jersey Jan. No, no, no. Avoid Spirit Airlines. You got that right. I'd rather walk. David says, when those around you are guiding you down that path of destruction, telling you you're doing great, it's like double jeopardy. I'm not getting out. Yeah. Um, it can't be New Year's for James already, can it? What does he live in Africa or something? Um, yeah, it's 4:40. Okay. Mm-mm. Brain freeze. Yeah, pneumonia. I guess because everyone dies of pneumonia, no matter what, unless you're actually hit by a bus, train, whatever. Everyone dies of pneumonia, no matter what. If you have Ebola, once your system is broken down, the first thing that kills you is pneumonia. So I'm assuming that's why he went with that. Even though whatever broke down your system could have been something entirely different. It isn't lost on me. He pushed cigarettes and chose pneumonia, a girl says. Rennie, I think he chose pneumonia because diphtheria and polio had been cured by a vaccine. um, C.O. Bilfster. C.O. Bilferuni. Um, Clearwater. Yeah, that's. I just see that being the last nice place on the planet for them at some point. Vanessa said, Eric, I was so freaked out to watch the South Park episode when I left the SO. Uh, I always thought, like, I think the Tampa Bay News article and also the Times cover story. My boss, who was a OT8, he actually gave me a bunch of money and said, go to every store you can find in Hollywood and buy every Time magazine. And then, destroy it. That made no sense to me. Like, how come we can't just be here comfortably and let people lie about us? Whatever. What are you going to do? You can't stop it, so who cares? But that was the first time I ever read like negative stuff, right? And I already believed it was complete bullshit for a long time. Like I said, the only issue I had was my mom and sister. I just, they're OTs and they wouldn't tell me this is bullshit. So that was the only thing, that was the only hook, But yeah, I just want people to know now, those things that I keep bringing up, those are the points to me that are absolute game changers. Okay, you know how the climate is in this world. Okay, there's no way people would be willing to work with Scientologists if they knew how they literally felt. Okay, it's not a harmless thing, and I'm not even talking. We already are pushing the abuse on kids and elderly and blah blah, and that's all great. But I'm saying these are other points that are just, there's no way for them to get around. They just pray we shut up and don't talk about it. That's what they pray. Okay? So, because you can't reconcile this shit. Okay? COB and Tom Cruise have been stalled on the bridge for 20 years. How they feel about every gay person on the planet. It's not a religion. They don't believe in a God. We believe in God. We just don't tell you which one. That doesn't even make sense. So anyway, those are the things that just really I just wish we could somehow get out and just skywrite all over the place. Okay, guys, please have a wonderful, safe New Year's Eve. I hope you're all warm, cozy, full belly, and hugged, and know you're loved. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you so much for an absolutely amazing 2025. I mean, it's yeah. I'm damn near at 2 years with you guys now. It's pretty incredible. Pretty amazing. And what a year. What a year. And now we're gonna be much better than ever before in 2026. And I think all of us are, I mean, the education you guys have is going to be invaluable in making life hard, for them. So, and I'm running an advanced class here. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful, safe night tonight. I can't wait to see you next year. And if I do see you again, great today. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe I get a wild hair. And if it's not raining, I'll probably go out and cover the fireworks. Because it is awesome here. And that's about it. So I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for all the support you've given me and for all the love and and just having my back. You've made everything I've done possible, and that support is just, there's no way to tell you how much it means. So thank you guys, really. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon. Love you. Until next time.